But in addition to that, you may want to pick a something complementary to that, which it sounds like you're trying to line up, and that could be either a very large metal fabrication company, or somebody that I'm trying to think of a third one. I'll give it some thought, but given the kind.
If you have a question, sorry to interrupt you. If you've got a question for him, and then we'll move to the 5 minutes of advice afterwards. So if you can keep it to questions at this point, please.
Got it. Thank you. All right. So I'm all set for now.
All right. Grandma Sparky, go ahead.
Yeah. What I was looking for is, who is it that you really want to connect with? What, if you're, who is it that you want to connect with personally, the kind of person that you would best be suited to coach?
Yeah, so to consult for, it'll be the people who I spent 7 years in this industry. There's several people I could represent that derive value from the end customer, and so it'll be the people that I already like, know, respect, trust, where there's some degree of loyalty there.
All right.
I have one more question.
Sure.
My other question is, why would they want you as opposed to anybody else they're working with? What specific do you offer?
The same. That's a really good question. Glad I have this recording, and I've shown them that I could already increase their revenue by a significant amount, and I also believe that who you work with should build up your life, and I do that.
Great.
All right, Flint, your question.
What is the point of taking on these consulting projects versus doing your passion projects? Like, why are you doing one or the other instead of just pursuing one of them?
I probably have about 6 to 9 months of cash flow if I didn't. And the one thing I fear is kind of racing against the clock. So
at the end of the day, do you want to do you want the passion projects to provide you the income and not do this consulting work?
Yes, probably.
Okay. Marcel, you had your hand up. Did you still have a question? You took your hand down. Did you change your question?
I blacked out a little bit while Ryan was talking, so I was just trying to gather.
He does that to us.
I was just wondering what a direct question of what exactly are you looking for and who are you trying to reach, I guess, is what I was trying to pick up.
I guess just trying to reach a specific customer in the tech industry, and reason I'd be doing it is to create consistent cash flow, so that I have time on my side while I'm building my passion project.
All right. I think, Josh, you want to slip in a quick question?
Yeah, just real quick. I was wondering, you mentioned that you are looking to get, 2, 3, maybe 4 different companies that you're getting involved with. Are you looking to provide them all with the same service, or are you providing slightly different services for each company depending on their needs?
Yeah, same service is definitely the goal. Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to the 5 minutes of advice. Same idea. If you do have any bit of advice, please keep it to 30 seconds only and raise your hand. So let me know if you do. Josh, you still got your hand up. Do you have some advice for him?
Sorry, I just lowered it. I'll have a think.
No worries. I know I was putting you on the spot.
It's all good.
David, is that a hand up or just a thumbs up?
That was supposed to be a hand, not a thumb.
I'll take the thumb, keep the hand, and give Ryan some advice.
Yeah, so Ryan, we can talk offline, as well anytime you want. But my advice is to talk to other manufacturers reps that you worked with in order to kind of streamline the type of companies that you want to represent. And my advice would be to keep them to 3, no more than 3, because I don't think you want to be doing this 40 hours a week. And I think you can be successful doing it between 15 and 20 hours a week and be able to make a lot of money. And I suggest you get a retainer from the 3 companies that you represent. And I know they'll be synergistic in nature. So that makes it more powerful because all your prospects are going to be needing all 3 services. So I'd be happy to talk to you in depth on any of that.
Thanks, David. Grandma Sparky.
Yes, so focus is what I'm hearing. And if I had more clarity in 30 seconds or less, that you can tell me exactly who you are, the people that you're dealing with, wanting, and the difference you make in 30 seconds, that would be helpful.
Right. Anybody else got some advice for Ryan? Flint, go ahead.
When you, this is in relation to Grandma Sparky, her comment is along with the technical ways being clear about the technical ways you can help the company, also spend a bit of time and identify the intangible ways that you bring value to a relationship or a environment, because the way that a person feels when they come away from a meeting with you is valuable financially, even if they don't put a dollar sign on it. So spend some time identifying the intangible ways that you bring value to a situation that aren't just your technical ones, so you can bring light to those when you are presenting yourself in an interview.
That's awesome. Thanks, Flint. Anybody else got some powerful words for Ryan, some advice to share with him? Marcel, go ahead.
I just felt called to say focus on the path of least resistance. That is it just keeps popping in my head, so I wanted to go ahead and say that.
Awesome. And Ryan, the only thing I would say for me is I'm gonna need to get a bit more info on what you're trying to do, because I missed the hot seat to give you any perspective from the consulting that I've been doing. It's a little bit different for me because I'm cold calling pharmacies and pharmacists, but there's probably some similarities there as well. But we can get in touch offline for that. We got 1 minute and 11 seconds left, probably a little bit more too. If anybody has any last words of advice for Ryan, or Ryan, if you'd like to say something, I think you could probably. Oh, David, you've got something?
Somebody mentioned earlier, passion project versus going back for the corporate revenue approach to fuel those passion projects. And I was wondering if you have considered identifying your #1 passion project and to see how long it would take you to get it to the point where you wouldn't need to be working in corporate America again.
Great words, David. All right, Ryan, anything you got to say?
I just want to say thank you guys. I know this was the mini hot seat. Normally it's an hour long. That was last week, and just really value your, both questions and perspectives, because even in a question like Flynn proposed, there's a lot to think about there. So I've take this forward. Thank you guys.
Awesome.
So we got
Josh, you got something?
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, just real quick. A bit of advice that I've learned to take is to pick these alliances strategically, carefully. you don't want to get involved with a company who doesn't share the same visions as you. So you may not want to take on a certain company and get bogged down with that work when you could be working with a company that's more ideal for your vision. So that's all I got.
All right, thanks, brother, and thanks, Sarah, for taking on my role since it was me in the seat today.
You got it.
All right, we're gonna bring in our speaker now. Let's see. My otter AI keeps wanting to join.
I'm gonna be right back, Ryan. I just gotta do a quick outfit change.
All right, sounds good, Sarah.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, how are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Very grateful for being here.
I'm really grateful for you being here. And thank you for being patient while I kept you in the waiting room there.
No, it's all good, but I want to make sure we're in the right place. That's all. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I know we're all excited to be able to connect with you today. We've got an amazing group. I usually start off with a brief introduction to who you are, from my eyes, of course, and as well as a quick introduction to the group here. Are you good with that?
Brother, I'm here to serve. So however it works and whatever way I can serve, I'm honored to be here.
Awesome. So Sean Callagy, he just mentioned serving. Whenever I've come across your work, Sean, or spoken to people, I had a chance to speak with Leanne. It always goes back to value for you. How can I increase a value to an audience, an ecosystem, an introduction? She said you did an amazing job at the Super Bowl party introducing Lee. I know you have your own ecosystem as well at Unblinded. So Sean's group has less than, somewhere between 20 and 40 individuals in your practice, which is a law practice. You've also been building out this Unblinded platform.
Actually, Ryan, we have 125 full-time team members at Callagy Law. So
thank you for correcting me. Okay,
yeah, no.
125. One of your partners is Chris Crone. I know you're the best in the business. I also know Chris is, so you definitely are dealing with some really amazing people. You are undeniably building. You've been on over 100 stages in the last 2 years. I saw you raised over $500,000. Actually, I think Chris said $2.3 million for Ukraine in one single event. You are a man of generosity, as Chris says. You are also a family man. I saw your son next to you at a Tony Robbins event, and I love when leaders like yourself are incorporating your family. You're committed. You had a vision, and you since have jumped on over 100 stages in 2 years. You are a visionary, and what's so amazing is you have retinitis pigmentosa, which is I might not be perfect with this, but cells are wearing down the tissue of your retina, and that leads to like loss of night vision, loss of peripheral vision. These are things, and then ultimately it's a deteriorating disease around vision loss that doesn't necessarily have a quote unquote cure. And in that, you've been able to become an influence. There are 2 million people in the world with this, with retinitis pigmentosa, and that's something like 0.004%. And here you are speaking from stages. You're surfing in your free time. You have incredible energy that lifts everybody around you. I had a conversation with your colleague Paul, and he lights up when we talk about you and your story. I know your retinitis pigmentosa led you from a career in baseball to where you are today. And you're constantly building people up. I think deep down inside of you, you really care about your work, and that is what is leading you to be the incredible inspiration that you are. So thank you, man, for joining us today.
Thank you, brother. And Ryan, I know all those things can be said about you too. Maybe not going blind and being blind, but the rest of it and the impact and the heart and the service, the mission, your athletic background, it really is a beautiful honor to be here today.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I'm glad we've been able to connect. We're going to do just 10 seconds, guys. We're going to go around, introduce who's here to Sean. We'll start with you, Marcel.
Hello, Marcel Harris, creative professional in entertainment and helping people become better today than they were yesterday.
Awesome. Hey, Marcel.
Flynn.
My name is Flynn Mitchell. I'm an electrical engineer, data scientist, author of a philosophy book, and host of a philosophy podcast. And I'm building a service to help people bring awareness to their value systems.
Hey, Flynn.
Dave.
Hi, David Hatch, manufacturer's rep in the electronics industry for almost 40 years. And I had the privilege of meeting Ryan a few years ago, working with the company that he worked for. And I just instant connection there, and just really honored to be part of this today, my first time with this group. So very impressed with everything that everyone on this call has been doing with their life. My passion right now is trying to figure out how to help Ukraine. So I was, really impressed to see what you've done with that. And I'm looking to play my role, whatever that role is. But I'm completely obsessed with Ukraine the Latest, the UK podcast that comes out daily, and looking to make a difference there, as well as improve my current business that's just 1 year and 2 months old right now.
Congratulations on that, David. And I hear your heart, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, we love you. Let's keep it to 10 seconds in the intros here. Mac.
Hi, Mark Davis Ngwa. I am a radio presenter with Radio Sapiencia Onitsha, Nigeria. I am also the founder of a charity organization, the Mark Davis Charity Foundation. I believe that listening to you today, I'll be inspired to do more in different areas, public speaking and all. That's much I'm going to say for now.
Thank you, brother.
Yaroslava.
Hello, my name is Yaroslava. I'm I guess a web designer, and also trying to get my idea of doing semi-luxury organized tours in Scotland.
Ooh. Hi, Yaroslava.
Sparky.
Okay, so I'm Halise. Everybody calls me Grandma Sparky. My last name is Bridges. I'm a bridge builder. I'm a founder of Blue Ribbons Worldwide. And in 60 seconds or less, we end violence and connect people heart to heart and heal our planet. My work has reached 65 million people around the world, and I'm interested in knowing how to reach more people so that we can heal our planet.
Hello, Grandma Sparky.
Thank you.
Josh.
Hi, Sean. Josh Phillips, entrepreneur. I own two companies. The first one being a sales consulting company, and the second one is my passion project. I own an artist management company called Infinite Artist Management Group, where we manage music acts, brands, and careers. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Sarah.
Hey, Sean, thanks for being here with us. My name is Sarah Tabbitt. I'm an owner consultant of an operations consultant called Serotonin Solutions. And that's a play on words because my name is Sarah and it's serotonin, because I like to bring up the serotonin in people and make them happy.
Cool. Hello, Sarah.
And Caroline.
Hey, I'm Caroline. I am a artist and writer, and I met Ryan while traveling in Argentina for a residency. And I'm just focused on trying to get my book and I guess the rest of my digital catalog finished.
Cool. Well, hello, Caroline.
Hi.
And Sean, like basically everyone on this call, I pursue experiences. I pursue heart-to-heart connections. I am an entrepreneur. I'm still finding my footing, doing what I love and getting paid to do it so that I can continue to do more of it. And in those experiences, I've traveled and, really opened up my perspective, like the majority of this group.
Super cool, brother. Well, again, it's a privilege to be here.
Thank you, man. So Sean, we could do this one of two ways. Obviously we'd love to hear a little bit about the things that, are relevant to us that have allowed you to do what you love and have passion for doing it and create an income stream doing it and truly change lives in the way you're doing that. And I also have a few questions. So,
Sure.
Yeah, how would you prefer to proceed?
Yeah, would it be okay, Ryan, if I maybe set a little context for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then we could drop into questions, and I can support and serve. And I was thinking about it, and I think a little context would be helpful. So it would give people a little, maybe more fulsome idea of how to use me in this time, because I want to be used while I'm here.
That's great, Sean. Sounds great.
Cool. Well, thank you. So thanks again. My name is Sean Callagy. I am a seeker of truth. And my platform, Unblinded, is about supporting people and seeing what they do not see about growing their money and or their time and or their magic. So, right, seeing what we don't see about growing our money, time, and magic. And as Ryan alluded to, I am blind. I cannot see a single thing in front of me on the screen. I do actually retinitis pigmentosus, he accurately stated, typically tunnels your vision. Mine, oddly enough, has eliminated all central vision. I do have a little bit of peripheral on the sides. So I am perceived to be a little crazy. I ski, I scuba dive, I surf in crazy conditions. I do a lot of videos online of skiing and surfing things, just as a stand-in disruption to the idea of limitation. So I make more mistakes than I do things optimally. But the privilege I have is I have a mechanism. I was a Division I college baseball player, 4-year start at Columbia University, captain my college baseball team. So I was reared in peak performance dynamics that were based in heart and math. And I often find that people delete one or the other. So people are all about peak performance and drive, and they're not feeling connection, love, and heart, where people are full of heart and nothing is contained, and they're sort of here and there and everywhere. And I've been a certified coach for 20 years. I was in the infancy of coaching certification with the ICF. I built an original law firm, had no revenue, no money, and I only went to law school because I didn't want to be blind and broke. And the work of my life became the seeking of truth. And I couldn't believe when I found the work of people in personal development. I couldn't believe some of the things they were claiming were possible. I didn't believe they were possible. People like Tony Robbins and Jay Abraham. And I did things they said. I found an incredible book by a guy named Robert Anthony that I bought for $1 at a garage sale with my grandmother, whose birthday is today. She would have been 97, Nani. And because I was being a good grandson, and I love her to no end and everything she brought to my life, I was at a garage sale with her. I don't like garage sales. And they had a bunch of books for $1 a piece. I'm like, I'll look through this. This might be a good way to use time. This is in 1997. And that book, How to Make a Fortune from Public Speaking, when it combined with about 25 other things that I was studying, brought things together in some of the most powerful and profound ways. And the results and acceleration that were created in my life were beyond my wildest dreams. I went from broke, in debt, scared out of my mind, to all of a sudden buying a beach house a year and a half later, in addition to my primary residence. And I was free, and I wanted to teach other people and share how to do it. So you can relate to me as someone who has all sorts of things I don't do optimally. But the things that I do know and understand is how to cause financial acceleration with integrity and heart. I do know how to create duplication, scaling, and time freedom. I do own a 125 person law firm that provides me very, very blessed, very abundant income, and has a beautiful value and worth. And I do not have to spend any time on it for it to provide a multiple 7-figure income. And that was came at great pain. It came at incredible fear, loss, confusion. I wanted to quit every day. I was looking at walls and walls of books to read. I was totally overwhelmed in 1997, 98, 99. And I was like, I want to create a formula to teach people how to do this. So that was the work of my life. This is the work of my life. And I'll just drop in a footnote because people will be like, wow, like, so you built this thing and sold this thing. You have this mechanism. I kind of heard maybe something about you. I'm not sure, but you seem like you've really been coming on the scene a lot more in the past 3 years or so. What happened between, 2002 when I sold my law firm and I became a certified coach. And now, and my answer is I led a life of complete intentionality. As Ryan noted, I had 3 children. My son is in his first year of law school, and under no pressure, he'll be coming to work with me. And I'm so thankful to God. And I told him, just do your best. He has a 4.0 in law school. That ain't easy. And his intentions are to come and run and drive the building of Callagy Law. We now do work in 40 different states. I have a daughter who's a wildlife ecology major. She's a 3.978 GPA. If they gave A pluses, she'd be over a 4.0 because she has many 98s and 99s and had 1 A minus in college. And she wants to save the animals on the planet. And she'll be interning at Mystic Seaport in Mystic, Connecticut this summer. And I have a sophomore daughter in college, University of Maryland. And she's a theater major. And she, as one of the things that I am hoping she's the most proud of about herself. I don't like to say I'm proud of them. It seems like they have to earn that or something. So I hope she's proud of herself. I am proud to be her dad. And she was called the fiercest hurdler in the history of our high school when the girl who's a teammate of hers broke the high school record in time. She was the 5th fastest hurdler ever, but she so dramatically exceeded her physical expectations and genetics as a hurdler that the coach put up a poster of her and said, I will tell everyone who ever walks into this building that is the fiercest hurdler in Emerson High School history. So my work is about legacy. It's about supporting people to step into their dreams and find their greatest self without any judgment. I want to deliver truth and choice to people, sort of like Yoda and the Jedi. We're not telling anybody what they have to do, but here's the truth of it. If you want to get to here, whether it's baseball or cooking or family or money, there's optimal ways to do it. There's a truth of what works optimally. There's just a truth. And I think one of the great potential challenges of the world of personal development, as I've been deep in it, I'm a lion in Tony Robbins' world. I've had the privilege of speaking on that stage 17 times. I've been to Tony's home. He said incredible things about me. I love him. I appreciate him. He's called me his friend. I'm not saying he's my friend. We don't text. We do communicate. But he is an extraordinary human. I couldn't be more grateful. And in that space to youth athletic space and every other peak performance space, I find people who seek to distort truth. They distort truth. And there's a lot of ways I wish the world was different. But there's universal laws like gravity, and those same laws apply to our influence. They apply to our getting our messaging out there, finding the partnerships that we desire, and getting ourselves to do things. And they're just law like lifting weights or diet, blood pressure. Like there's simply scientific truths. That's the math. And then it's the heart. And there's even truths and rules and laws about heart. And so it is the bringing those things together in a 4-component model, very simply. This is just the sort of overarching concept of the work. I mean, we have 1,000 hours of content, but if you said, hey, what is it you're doing? And we're teaching people how to go from hello to yes, where to go from hello to yes to bring about your ultimate vision, mission, purpose, and your true outcomes, and how to emotionally get yourself to do it. through a process that we call ERPting: empathy, respect, precision, directness. And precision is that truth component. And if we avoid it or not clear and decisive and direct, we got problems. If we're not precise, then we're going the wrong direction, looking to get to somewhere we want to go. And if we're precise and direct and we have no empathy and respect, then nobody wants to be with us, and we don't even want to be with us. But if we're empathetic and respectful and not precise and direct, but avoidant, then we're stepping into spaces that aren't truthful. And eventually that love fizzles out, that desire to do things together burns away, whether it's a sports team, a business team, a family, an intimate relationship, whatever it is. If we're empathetic and respectful, but not precise and direct, it all goes away. So it's all four. So maybe I'll pause there. And Ryan, open up to any way I can answer anything or share anything else, please.
Thank you, Sean. I definitely have one direction I would love. So my intention for this conversation, of which we have about 20 more minutes, my intention is to bring as much honesty and authenticity as possible to the conversation, to draw out as much value as possible for a very for a very specific group of people here. So to maximize value, like you like to do. So are we cool with that intention? That's why I have this little small group here.
Yeah, and brother, we absolutely can do that. And I just want to share with everyone, there is not a question that anyone could ask me that I will not answer. So that is the degree of transparency. So yes, sounds great.
Thank you, Sean. So when we look at your journey, you are in the process of achieving, let's say, your dream state. Is that correct? Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, I would say pretty correct. And my dream state is aligned with my higher power and believing and serving my higher power. And that is my dream. So yes.
Okay. And it was a journey to get to this place. And a lot of us, and you're still on your journey, I know you are, a lot of us are in our journey. So when you look back at your journey and you look at the book that kind of helped you change your frame, that happened in 1997?
Yes, sir.
What, after 1997, is that when you built Callagy Law up until about 2002?
Yes.
After selling Callagy Law, you did sell it, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Is that how you funded Unblinded?
I sold in 2002. I built Callagy Coaching and Training from 2004, because I got certified in 2003 at IPEC Coaching School. And then in 04, 05, 06, I built a coaching and training company that was very successful, but it was consuming nights and weekends. And my son, Tyler, who we mentioned, was becoming sport playing age, and I didn't want to miss his games. And I said, I'm going to put this mission on hold until later. And later will be at a time I know, but my kids are grown. And that was 13 years later in 2018, 12 and a half. So when I built Callagy Law, it was the law offices of Sean Callagy was the law firm I sold. Callagy Law, I started in the beginning of 07. And I took that from 0 to 100 people in 2 years. And that is what funded and funds what I'm doing. And to start Unblinded, I wrote a $500,000 check. I don't think you need to do that, but our first event cost $300,000. We had 1,300 people at it. But yes, I funded the launch of Unblinded that way. My original coaching company, which I was doing 6 figures a month within 12 months, I funded with under $5,000. So coaching company one, very successful, very small funding. Unblinded, splash funding. But I'll just tell you this, we had some folks in the team that were not optimal teammates. And there was a lot of waste that went into that first year. So please don't hear $500,000 funding and think, oh my God, like, you know, I can't do that. And that's why this is working. If we never did that first event and we didn't write the check for $500,000, I truly believe we would be in a more advanced position. Had we simply started with the team and no funding, or maybe 10 grand, we would have been in a better place than we are today. And the longer story as to why I would say that, but that first year, because we fired the person who we brought aboard to be our COO, and that dynamic, I think, created a step back. And some of my dearest relationships, I think, didn't love that person, which I understand, and they weren't, you know, they saw things that I was blind to use a pun. And so I think it created some negative impact. So that's the answer.
So you just, if I heard you correctly, you said, you know, you believe that Unblinded could have been started with $10,000.
100%. Unblinded could have been started with zero. Yes.
Okay, so that's a look back perspective. It's a valuable perspective. Could you dive a little bit into that?
Sure. So one of the great mistakes I believe that people make in business is they think they need to listen. I believe in coaching and training. So if I was going to invest in anything, invest in coaching and training, like you're doing here, right? That's a beautiful thing. Aside from that, you're not in business until you're actually generating potential client meetings, sales meetings with heart-centered integrity, not pitching, hooking, closing, you know, very precise language. So when I say sales meeting, I'm not like pitch, hook, close. I mean, meet with people to see the value exchange that can be created with intention. And the mission is to go create that. And again, with love and all the things, I wouldn't first be spending money on website. If you're going to do that, do it simultaneously. So I, in retrospect, with the incredible teammates I do have, we didn't need to do all the things that we did, right? We could have done, we could have had 500 people at an event and raised no money. We could have, you know, had the event easily would have paid for itself to do it in a hotel room instead of the Meadowlands Exposition Center. We didn't need to get cello, Tony Robbins music person, all these extravagant things that the person who said we need these things, we hired a $75,000 tech consultant. I mean, it was crazy, some of the things that happened. And that's not what people were coming there for. And they were coming there for what was going to be delivered, and which was delivered. So we could have got the same net effect without a massive amount of those expenditures. And the people who are assembling the team in the room, these people absolutely were partners, and they didn't need salaries. I don't think they had salaries at that point. So the initial team of people came together, Adam Gugino, Fernando Valencia. We could have done all that just alone together and put 500 people together and gone forward. So I guess that would be.
And when did you start, Sean? Did you go from idea to this, from idea to having this first, let's say, sales opportunity come to fruition? It's not the right term, but what was that period like?
Yeah. So what I'm doing with Unblinded is structurally the identical thing I did in 2004, 5, 6 with my original coaching company, Callagy Coaching and Training, that I only paused to be present with my kids and become a business owner and operator of my second law firm, right? Because there was no path coming anytime soon for me being a business owner of Callagy Coaching and Training. And I didn't want to be a business owner of that. Tony Robbins says all the time, he's an operator, of his platform. He's an owner of many companies, but an operator of his platform. So I got that. And so I did, that's what I put on pause. So when it came to what we were doing here in 2018, when my son Tyler was in his senior year of high school and my daughters were freshman and sophomore, they were busy. I wasn't taking them to practice every day and private trainings with coaches. They had their friends, they had their high school coaches. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to a Tony Robbins event. And I hadn't been to a Tony event in 15 years. And I committed that was going to be the beginning of the launch of this platform, bringing this formula to the world of how to make more money in less time with more magic. which I had created by 2002. It's how I built my second law firm. I would give this content away for free, developing doctor, orthopedic surgeon, neurosurgeon relationships, hospital relationships, surgical center relationships in the Callagy law space, my law firm space. So I never stopped training it inside the law firm, outside of events, but it wasn't a business. But I realized that people who pay attention, and it generated tons of legal clients for me, and it was wonderful. But people come to free events, they love it and they love you, but do they really use the material? And we weren't training them ongoingly. And I knew that's what we're coming back to when my kids got older. So in 2018, when I entered the Tony space, I didn't even know a thing called Platinum Partnership existed. And I went to the event. I thought I had the best tickets, and that wasn't about ego. It was I'm blind, and I wanted to be in the front row so I could, if Tony was nearby, I could catch a little peripheral glimpse of him maybe. And I'm sitting in the middle of the room, and the guy that sold me the ticket told me I had the best ticket available, but he didn't tell me was that the only tickets better were in Platinum Partnership, and you had to join that, and it costs $100,000 a year. And so I didn't know that. And at that event, I decided to join Platt, a lot of fear, a lot of trepidation, a longer drop in, which I'll skip. And when that happened, I committed that would be the journey forward. And for everybody here, I thought person A and B were going to be the people I took this mission forward with. And then they weren't. Then I thought person C and D, second set of people, were going to be the people I took this mission forward with. And they weren't. Then I thought people E and F were going to be the people I took this mission forward with, and they weren't. So group 1, group 2, group 3. And then the fourth grouping, the lead person I thought I was going to take this forward with, it wasn't. So I went through group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and it's now group 5. And it's together. And from the beginning, we built this, Adam, Fernando, Nicole, my LL Tink, my co-founders, and that was the tribe. And it took 2 years and, some real heartache and some real disappointment and wanting to quit. Everything I've ever built, I've wanted to quit all the time. I still want to quit unblinded. It's my line. We have, I believe, a bifurcation of our survival brain and higher self. And our survival brain is the one that's telling us to stop running, stop lifting. My grandmother, whose birthday is today, told me I could do anything. I love people. I was the light of her life. And then every single time I was going to do something to take my mission forward, she told me not to. So we have these mixed messages from those that love us and from ourselves. And we're at war internally all the time. And every time we have something new, every time we have setbacks and disappointment, our brain, our nervous system recognizes pain and that which we fear 10 times at a minimum, as much as it recognizes benefit, opportunity, and positive. So we are naturally wired to notice all the things that are wrong. That's why the geese on my front lawn and the deer, when my daughter goes to feed them, the deer run and the geese hiss, right? They don't know the difference between safety and danger, and neither do we. And so that journey in the Tony world created unbelievable acceleration. And that's all part of the formula that we teach. It happened intentionally, it happened with blessing. And it came with an immense amount of frustration and heartache. And it continues to. The building of anything comes with 3 phases: arduous, we put in way more work and get much less return. Then we begin to cross over into momentum, where we have to put in less work to get a greater return that crosses over at momentum. And then abundance is we got to put in just a little bit to get a massive return. And every single thing we do, from summiting Everest to losing 5 pounds, to somebody quitting drinking coffee or alcohol or stopping using drugs, to making $1 million or 10 million or 100 million or $1 billion, whatever the next jump is, every jump comes with that arduous momentum abundance cycle. So I'll pause there, Ryan.
Well, I have 2 paths I could go down right now. One is the fact that I really believe, and this is, I made 2 reference checks, one with Paul, one with Leanne, to say, basically, what is it about Sean, that you have experience with, so that we can dive deep on that, not the necessarily talking points, but the experience. And what I'm receiving right now is that you generally really are present, you care, you're on a mission. I don't know if I should talk about that or if we should talk about, when you built Unblinded, you really had a focus on the consumer. Like, I think if you were to go back, what's really most important isn't the investment, the time, it's the consumer.
Yeah.
So I don't know which direction we should go in.
Yeah. I'm happy to go that way because I think it might be the most valuable for everybody, but I'm open.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Yeah. So just even the phraseology, people want more money in less time with more magic. Now that phraseology certainly turns off certain people because they're like, I don't want money, right? That's emotionally, reactively what people like to say, but the majority of people are looking first and foremost to generate more income and revenue. That's just the truth. My work isn't about that in the end, but it's an integrous Trojan horse. It's giving people what they want to give people what they need. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants magic. And magic to me is everything that we want to experience: the love, the connection, the growth, the adventure, the pride. One of the greatest days of my year so far is Tony Robbins' body worker, James Bowman, is a dear, dear friend. James is my body worker. He comes to our events, many of our events, and treats my body, and till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, the night after, each day after speaking. And so James and I were at the Tony event at Sun Valley just a couple weeks ago, and James and I took a day, half a day, and we just skied together, and we just tore it up. James, incredible athlete. He was Division I college athlete himself until he broke his neck, and that's how I got into holistic body work. And he had the audio assist. We had never skied together. I taught James to surf, and he's taught me things. And I had this incredible relationship. He works with a lot of professional athletes, and he's just like, I want to push each other today. And so we went to the top of the mountain, had the audio assist going. We're ripping down the mountain. We're doing everything. We're shooting videos. He's watching it that night with Tony on Tony's 14-foot screen in his Sun Valley house. And Tony's like, Sean's a maniac. This is crazy. So I'm laughing. My heart feels good that I'm making Tony Robbins say I'm crazy. And James is feeling all fired up. And, I had some fun teasing because James is, again, incredible skier and athlete. He's the only one that fell that day. Black diamonds, moguls, rocking, all of it, right? At the end of the day, he and I were chatting about and he worked on my body after that. And we're sitting there saying, this is what it is. And at the end of the day, there's a desire for us to get to whatever that place is where we're living in our truest essence. And everything else is just noise around it, including even the core of the mission. So if you were to ask me, what is the most enjoyable thing I do selfishly, it would be body surfing with James Bowman or my kids. It would be bombing down the mountain. It'd be looking at Nicole Maiello Tink's face when she, seeing it a little peripherally, when she creates our magical Christmas party, and how that feels for her, and receive that acknowledgement, and when I'm on stage in front of, 5,000 people, sometimes I'm on stage in front of 10 people. And in those moments, I feel really grateful I'm serving, right? And I just love serving. But selfishly, I want to be body surfing. I'll be bombing down that mountain, and I want to be adventurously expressing life, right? With people I love and care about, have developed incredible, unique bonds with, right? And that's how I believe every neurosurgeon, brain surgeon, entrepreneur, coach, trainer, speaker, author, accountant, lawyer, from Lee Steinberg to Bill Gates to Donald Trump to Barack Obama to Tony Robbins to Oprah Winfrey to you, Ryan, everybody here. That's what I believe everyone wants in the end anyway. And everything else is just the noise in between, where we're making sure we feel proud of ourselves, we're serving, contributing, but we have those core things that just light us up, that are the most meaningful and fulfilling. And if you said that to a neurosurgeon, if I said that to a person who owns a manufacturing facility, they look at me like I'm crazy, nuts. Disney gets that, right? And they've owned that space so beautifully. But the reason it resonates so powerfully, they made a couple of interesting choices that have developed a little friction, put those aside. But historically, have developed that identity in the world because it's what people really want. They want love, they want connection, they want contribution, they want growth. And if you sell them that, then you're going to have a real challenge. And that's why I start with the money and the time. So I am very focused, as you said, Ryan, on the client, the other person, so I can give them every value we integriously agree to give. And then we can give them so much more. And the people that are doctors and lawyers and accountants, these very, what you would typically say, logically oriented people, which I don't believe anybody's actually logically oriented. That's a longer conversation. We're all making decisions emotionally. But if you could check the emotional box for them, which is I'm being logical, I'm going to make more money and do it in less time, then you could serve their true essence and being. So yes, customer focus, think of what they truly want, never about what we want to deliver. You know, what I want to deliver is I want to teach everybody how amazing it is to ski and surf and go to Grand Cayman. And that's what I really want to do, and talk about how to be present and magical in your life. So I really want to talk about, but people have a really challenging time paying for that up front. So I give the people what they want, so I can truly give them what they actually need and will value most.
That's amazing, Sean. We are 3 minutes over, so we're gonna wrap up
Cool.
at 11:53 Eastern time. What I heard from you in summary is obviously we spoke about focusing on the consumer. We spoke about being integrous, you know, the Trojan horse being that the financial aspect to this, you know, to allow us to allow the world to experience what we have inside of us. That, you know, interestingly enough, your passions are as much your work as they are those present momentary experiences that you have with people, to focus on really what lights us up. And interestingly enough, like, you know, your experience took you down a path where this is really your third business. There's a great belief you have that it could have been your first business. However, it's also, to me, comforting in you know, that it is your third and that we're all on a journey, and here you are looking like you're 30 years old, and you know, and this is there's been a lot behind this, you know, to be in this position that you're in today.
Oh, brother, thank you. And I'm 53. And I believe that we are, and a fun fact, Ryan, is I can't see what I look like. So in my mind, I'm not aging. And that's kind of a fun, interesting benefit of being blind.
So as we wrap up here, Sean, you know, you have a 30-day free trial for your unblinded program. You love to speak at events. You do tons of stage events. You're giving back. Do you have any like bucket list items, or, you know, what's your bucket list?
Yeah, my bucket list. I'll tell you my bucket list. But we had one comment about the Ukraine. We raised $7 million for the Ukraine. I had a privilege of being in the Ukraine, in Kyiv, on a day when missiles went over our head. I met some of the most heroic people imaginable, like Colonel Andy Milborn. We were Special Forces, retired U.S. Special Forces people. It was unreal, the things we did. So that impact, the causing of superheroes, is what is most on my heart in all the big ways. And you mentioned Chris. You know, I've had the privilege of, you know, creating a financial company. Chris and I and this other gentleman have together, and we teach each other and work with each other. And I couldn't believe in coaching more at a higher level. So, you know, that, and then bucket list for me. The bucket list is I'm sitting in the back of an 80,000 person arena. Nobody knows I'm there. Nobody knows it's me. There's somebody teaching the unblinded formula on that stage in front of 80,000. And simultaneously, there's 1,000 people running events all over the world that are from the thousands to the hundreds to the tens to the single digits, serving and supporting people in every vertical and every geography on the planet to bring integrity-based influence forward. That's the true ultimate bucket list item for me, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you for spending the time with us. Thank you for sharing your bucket list. Is there anything else that we should note before we wrap up here?
No, listen, if you want to meet other open-minded, heart-centered entrepreneurs, every Wednesday, our world is open. You drop into breakout rooms and meet people. And we don't sell anything on those Wednesdays. Not that there's anything wrong with selling things, but we do not sell anything on a Wednesday. And if you want to meet other entrepreneurs and experienced people from the Unblinded ecosystem and others, feel free to check it out. We'd love to have you there and love to have a further conversation. If anybody's interested in coming on one of our online shows, The Heart of Influence, it's another way to meet people. So if there's resonance here, we'd love to talk more. And Ryan, thank you, brother, for the privilege and opportunity, the abundant mindset you have with this group, and the honor of bringing me in with such an abundant, open, generous mindset. Massive gratitude, brother.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you again, my friend.
Hopefully. Thank you, Ryan. See you soon. All the best, everybody. Thank you.
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 Brilliant.
All right, friends, as we wrap up, I had an initial ask for everybody, which is my ask, which is that I'm dropping in the chat everyone's asks for today. I'm sorry, I'm dropping it in email. You will have it by 2 minutes after the beginning of the hour. Please take 10 minutes to lend perspective to the rest of us on our journeys. My goal just now was to resonate with Sean as much as possible for us. Hopefully I did my best to achieve that. Because it's hard to keep common denominators around our journeys. But I tried my best, and I will upload this recording. You guys will all have that in the next hour. And of course, we go live again next Thursday with more of a hot seat. One thing I want to remind everybody, and then in 2 weeks, I've got a financial expert who is well referred as well coming in, Martha Adams, who talks about how it's so important to get our money mindset correct and where that comes from to allow entrepreneurs to do what Sean's doing right now. So I thought that would be valuable. As we wrap up, let's all give each other a virtual hug from all the different countries we're in. And just remember that opening a door for one person, starting a conversation with your barista, seeing Dave smile on camera and smiling back, all of those small little things can change someone's day. So go out and impact just one person's day today. Thank you guys for joining today.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Love
everyone.
you guys. It was so awesome to meet everybody. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
And Ryan, you're spot on. God bless you for doing this.
Oh, you're the best, Sparky.
Here, here.
Thank you. Sparks, when I knew your group was amazing is when it was the last session and people stayed after for like 10 minutes, after like 2 or 3 hours. Oh, yeah.
No pressure.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So we're all here to stay after, at least for a few minutes, because I'm so juiced up. I took a bazillion notes, and I'm glad it was on the recording, right?
Yeah, you'll have the recording in the next hour.
And I love that we're all unbridled and we can't see a damn thing. It's the truth.
It is the truth.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when you're 80 years young, you realize these things, right?
Yeah, and I just want to say something about, I think it was it David that talked to me about Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You were saying that, and so you plugged in something in my heart that I hadn't thought about, is like how to honor people in Ukraine.
Yes.
And so I just want to say that something happened for me because a long time ago, somebody said something about Israel, and I wound up living in Israel for a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
So it's
Oh,
like,
amazing.
so then when Sean was talking about Ukraine and flying to Ukraine, and you can only do something when you're right in the middle of it. Like, I mean, viscerally, like you could be skiing, but when you're doing your work, when you're really in it, and you touch it, taste it, be in the Holocaust, be with people that have concentration marks on their arms and living with them for a couple of years, you come back here and you go, hey, this is easy.
I can only imagine it because I haven't done it, and my frustration is wanting to help and not having the best ideas as to how to go about it. And it's not a unique feeling. Obviously, Sean's been doing what he's doing, which is huge, right? I mean, he's got a bigger platform. He's able to gather more money and donations for Ukraine. But I think collectively, if we all did just a little bit, and I guess that's where I'm coming from, I just want to know what my little bit will be, other than educating myself every day about what's happening. I want to influence.
My recommendation is make it up and invite one person to join you. And then you don't try to figure it out. The head is a crazy place to go. My mentor says, never go there by yourself.
Good advice. Oh, gosh.
Who resonates with that?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
It's a crazy place.
Crazy place.
A lot going on up there. Well, I got to jump, guys, but yeah, it was great today, and very nice to meet you all who I haven't met before. And I hope you have a great rest of your week and weekend.
Okay, and I wish that I could be here on Thursdays. I had to rearrange a lot to join us today, and I'm glad I did. And we'll see how it can go in the future. Okay, Ryan, because I want to really be here and close supporting. Ryan came to my home and he videoed me for 2 straight days, and we had a blast.
Yeah, we do. We have a blast. I took you on a date the first day we met.
Yeah, he did. We met at a big event where it was 600 people, and with the grooves, all that stuff, and we connected. And he took me to lunch, and then he took me to his bedroom. No.
Oh, I did actually.
That's right. He let me use his hotel room because I had to do a training all over the world. And I said, I need a place to do this training. And it's my, and you wound up being in my training, but Standing Strong Together to community building leadership. But I didn't know how to set up. I had my computer and I said, I've come to this event, but the only thing I don't know is where I'm going to set up to teach my program. And he goes, I'll set you up. And so that was, and you were fantastic to do that. And then there you were. You said, okay, I'll take the training.
Knight in shining armor.
So I love you all. I know you gotta
guys.
go. So
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Bye.
okay. Take care, love.
All right,
Bye-bye.
friends. Emails coming now. Help each other out. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you, buddy.
Yep, of course. I'll see ya.
All right. Take care.